This video shows how to perform USPS mail processing and FlexMail. In this example, the database is already linked. Click on the Postal USA tab from the menu ribbon. Then click on the Run button under the USPS Mail Processing section. A window will pop up allowing you to connect to the USPS mail processing services. If you do not have an account, you can click the Create Account button and follow the on-screen prompts. Once logged in, the USPS Mail Processing Wizard opens to guide you through the steps. The first step, Processing Services, is where you enter a job name and reference of the mailing. Below that are 3 postal processing services that you can perform. They are CASS, NCOA, and DSF processing, dedupe and suppression, and presort. Select the appropriate options according to your mailing. Below those options is text indicating if you currently have subscriptions. You can review those subscriptions by clicking the View button. On the lower left corner is the Show Cost button, which allows you to see the actual cost of the mailing. If the cost of a service is covered by your subscription, it will display as $0. You can keep this window open throughout the steps to review any changes in the costs due to settings that you choose. The second step, Field Mapping, is where you identify your database fields to the software. The first column displays the software field types. The second column is your database fields it is mapping to. The third column is an example of the data contained in that database field. If you click on a cell in the middle column, a drop-down arrow appears, which allows you to select the database field which matches the field type. An example of the data will be shown on the right in the example column. You can scroll through the examples by using the arrows below the example column. The third step is CASS, NCOA, DSF processing. This is where we select the level of address cleansing. The first drop-down box has 3 options: CASS only, CASS and NCOA for 18 months, CASS and NCOA for 48 months. The second drop-down is the PAF or Process Acknowledgement Form. It is required by the USPS. The PAF enables the USPS and the mailing industry to comply with the Privacy Act of 1974 by way of written request to use the change of address information for mailing purposes. If you already have completed one or more PAFs, select a PAF in the PAF list box. We can add a new PAF by clicking the New button. There are 2 options on the bottom of the window: suppress records from pre-sorted file that do not contain a zip+4 after processing CASS or NCOA, and delivery sequence file processing. The first option will omit the records that do not have a zip+4 from printing. The second option will put the mail pieces in a walk sequence order. The fourth step, Set Output Field Options, is where address options and output field options are set. We can customize the text for PO boxes and change your address elements to uppercase, lowercase, and/or mixed case. The fifth step is Dedupe and Suppression. When processing the mail list, the software can remove duplicates. Choose the method of removing duplicates. The options in the drop-down are 1 per household at address, 1 per individual at address, 1 per individual at a business, and 1 per address. The software can also suppress addresses on the Do Not Mail lists, prison lists, and deceased lists. This is based on 3 nationally compiled databases, and extra processing costs may appear. The sixth step is Select Output Files. Since the software does not import the database, it only links to it, this is the name of the file it will create with the address corrections. The seventh step is Define Output Fields. This is where we can select the output fields returned after the cleansing. The 8th step is mailing information. This is where we set the date of the mailing, and also this is the screen where we can select the post office that the mailing will be brought to. The 9th step is weight settings. This is where we tell the software about the mail piece. If the mail pieces are different weights and sizes or all the same size and weight. The drop-down boxes below allows you to set the weight source and the weight status. The weight source options are agent, calculated, postal, and logical. The weight status options are final, pending, and not given. Select the appropriate weight source and weight status for your mailing. The 10th step is item size and weight. This is where the weight and size of the mail piece is set up if all the pieces are identical. On the left-hand side of the window, in the item size section, is where we have 3 methods to enter the item size. The first method is a drop-down box where you can select the item size. The second method, you can enter the entire width and height directly into the width and height boxes. The third method is to select the button Copy Designer Page Size. On the right hand, under the Sample Measurement section, is where you enter the thickness and weight of the mail piece. Take a sample number of mail pieces and enter that number into the number box. Then measure the sample thickness and enter this number into the thickness box. Then weigh the samples and enter this number into the weight box. The 11th step is Presort Settings. This is where you select settings such as the shape of piece, if the piece is machinable, the class of mail, and the rate of mail in the appropriate drop-down boxes. This determines the pre-sort processing type required and also determines the mailing rates. The 12th step is Payment Options. This is where we specify how we will be paying for the mailing and the method of payment for the postage. Some payment options examples would be debit, CPP or Centralized Postage Payment, CAPS or Centralized Account Payment System, or PVDS or Plant Verified Drop Shipment. Some payment methods examples would be stamp, permit, or metered. The 13th step is Container Settings. This is used to set the parameters that are being used to control the actual sortation process. These include the type of containers, like sacks or trays, and the settings that control the number of items being put in a container or on a pallet. The 14th step is OEL and break markers. This is where we tell the software if we want to generate an optional endorsement line on the mail piece. The options from the drop-down box are on all addresses, the first address, and the first and last address of a container. You can also generate package markers, tray markers, and pallet markers. The 15th step is Barcode Details. This is where we select the barcode type. We select Full Service Intelligent Mail Barcode from the drop-down because we are uploading the mail.dat file generated by the software to the post office. The 16th step is Define Mail and Permit Owners and Agent/Producer. This is where we enter the mailing preparer, the permit holder, and the mailing owner of the mailing. To enter a new owner, agent, or producer, click the Sun button and fill out the pop-out form. If the permit holder is the same as the mail preparer, click the checkbox Same as Mail Preparer. Otherwise, click the Sun button and fill out the pop-up form. If the mail owner is the same as the permit holder, select the checkbox Same as Permit Holder. Otherwise, click the Sun button and fill out the pop-up form. Click Start to start the USPS processing. When the processing is finished, you will see a processing results window. Click Finish. From the menu ribbon, click Documents under the USPS Mail Processing section, then click Open Documents folder. This is where we find our mail.dat to upload to the post office, our tray tags, and other reports about your mailing. We have now performed a USPS mail processing in FlexMail.